Hi, everybody. Mike White here. Welcome to this week's blog post. Well, another interesting week under our belts, lots of things going on. One of the things that I really want to focus on today and kind of have a little bit of fun with, to be honest with you, but also to, share a common experience and see how everybody reacts to it. And so this week, I really want to draw the comparison and the contrast between price and value, one that we've understood in the mortgage industry for quite some time. But now it's the realtor's turn to really grasp hold of this and try to understand and make a case for it. Because for far too long, you, me, all of us in the mortgage industry have had to try to explain to customers and our referral partners for that fact, the difference between price and value. And we all know the comparison, the experience and the quality and the costs, the differences between Walmart to Target to Nordstrom's. We all know the difference between something that's less expensive or something that is cheap. We understand that people make value judgments and choices all the time. And I think, we're not immune to those things in the mortgage industry, and we've had to make the case because that customer experience, the cost, the price, the value has been something that we've had to deal with for quite some time. And unfortunately, many in the real estate community, many people looking for real estate, looking at the mortgage business, it's been focused on the commodity. What's your price? And unfortunately, not enough people have come to understand that price is only one feature of what you're dealing with when it comes to, doing a loan and buying a home and getting a mortgage. And, while some people understood that the quality of the experience, trusting the person you're working with, having that process flow smoothly, making sure that you're choosing the right loan, the right price, your right circumstance, your right costs, really, in the long run, presents a much greater value to that client, especially when it comes to things like, are you going to get the loan? Are we going to close on time? Are there going to be any surprises that come along the way? And for many people, they don't understand the difference because for far too long, many of our referral partners, especially realtors, have only seen the mortgage person as somebody that, to them, it was about the only thing they brought to the table was the price. What's your rate on this? That was the question that they only knew. So, well, send me your rate sheet, or I'm looking for the best rate for my clients. Well, we talk about a lot that the rate isn't great if the closing is late. Rate doesn't matter if the deal doesn't happen. And if you're focusing on finding somebody who's got the lowest rate, the likelihood is you're going to work with the best liar in your market. And in today's day and age, the best liar on the internet. And whether that turns out to be a valued experience or not, that's up for, interpretation, let's be honest. And so now what has largely been viewed, as a free experience, if you will, is no longer that free experience, because for way too long, as far back as I can remember, buyers agents have always been able to rely on the fact that they didn't have to prove their value. A buyer's agent just basically would tell the client, I'll show you whatever you want to see. I'll negotiate whatever it is you want to do. And don't worry about me because I get paid by the seller. Well, guess what? Now they have to negotiate for their own livelihoods. And how are they going to explain what makes the difference between a buyer's agent that works for 1% or 2% or 3%? And if they can't justify to you what their price is, if they can't negotiate their own fees for their money, How are they going to negotiate your money? It's to me, it's a perfectly valid question, to be honest with you. And understanding price versus cost versus value is a really important thing to do. And I think now for many loan officers, you can bring that to your marketplace. You can bring that to the buyer's agents that you work with. You can show and share with them how you've projected value in what it is, the validity on what it is that you're doing and how it is that you do it, and why the price is what the price is. Because ultimately, what are we supposed to do as mortgage people? Do what many realtors have done? Hide behind these quote unquote so-called 3-card rule or law, whatever they wanted to call it. I've argued for over 30 years with realtors that no such law exists. There is nothing to, well, you got to hand 3 cards out of a referral source or you're steering, or that's such nonsense. It's such gobbledygook. It's such trash. And if for those people who have believed that, do we go out there in the market now as mortgage professionals and say, okay, let me talk to all the buyer's agents out there and find out who the 1% agents are and who the 2% agents are and who the 3% agents are? And when a customer comes to me, before instead of selecting who I think would best work with them, who's best for them in their market, who's got the best opportunity to provide a great experience for that client, do I just hand them 3 cards? Here's a 1% agent, a 2% agent, a 3% agent. Go pick one. How is that going to feel? Well, now that the shoe's on the other foot, maybe we look at this and realize neither being a buyer's agent or being a mortgage professional is a commodity. It is a cost, and there is value represented by the people that you work with. And if you can't make the case for that, you're going to be in serious trouble, because the consumer is now going to be asking those questions of those real estate professionals, and they're going to need an answer. And I think this is where you can help them. You can look at the things that they have to do. You can look at the things that they're working on. You can show them how to represent value. And that can be very powerful, because in today's day and age, you've got to be able to justify either you're a price-based person where the only value you bring to the table is you're the least expensive, or it's going to be, something different. What value is the quality of the experience? Is it the quality of the negotiation? Is it part of the journey? The back end of the airplane arrives in the destination the same as the front end of the airplane. But guess what? There are people out there who are willing to pay for first class tickets. There are people out there who are willing to pay for business class tickets. There are people who are willing to pay for more leg room or an aisle seat. There are people who are willing to pay more money for the experience, even though the plane gets there on time. Well, guess what? If you don't know how to justify price versus value, then there's going to be a problem. And it's really important that you know that you can help those buyer's agents, the ones that you've worked with day in and day out. Now is a great time to have the conversation. And oh, by the way, don't forget the listing agents. Listing agents now more than ever, people that you've worked with in the past. Sharing with them how to best put themselves in their position and how they're going to help negotiate these things, the price versus the value, how they're going to deal with their clients when it comes to negotiating these things and helping their clients. All important conversations. And as always, if you have questions and comments about what this means, reach out to me, Mike, imtcoaching.com. I'd love to hear from you. Let's talk about it. Take care.